Okay, up next is Kung Fu Panda. No, it's not. It's Double Panda from Brewery. It is their imperial version of their tiramisu stout. And I'm just realizing, looking at this can, oh, that feels so good. It is one of these embossed labels. Oh, I love it. That is really nice. In fact, the whole label is embossed. Is embossed the right thing to say? It feels like it has different... Oh, that's nice. I love the can label to this beer. It's from their Urban Jungle range, and it's Double Panda. Up next. Hey, welcome back to Views and Brews. I am Brendan, and as I was popping into the off license today, outside, much to my delight, was the brewery van, and they were just dropping off a delivery of boxes, and in one of those boxes was Double Panda, a beer that has a bit of a cult following. The normal Panda Nero can that is the original version of this, shall I say, but this is the amped up version. This is the Imperial Tiramisu Stout, and it is 10%. It has their cool panda on it. Let me see what it says on the back. It's nice, easy to read writing. Our Urban Jungle range celebrates brewery's adventurous side. Find your spirit animal with Urban Jungle. We've taken our Panda Nero Tiramisu Stout and turned up the volume. I like it. Double Panda is an imperial tiramisu dessert stout that's packed with even more dark chocolate, coffee and cream flavors. Come on, this sounds great. The result is a decadent beer with bitterness from roasted barley and ground coffee beans, okay, balanced with the sweetness of tiramisu extract. The only way you're going to get tiramisu into a beer is with a flavouring. They're open about it. I like that. With a bolder taste, fuller body and bigger ABV, Double Panda is the ultimate indulgence. Treat yourself to this Moorish, intensely satisfying stout. I could go on reading it forever. It was only canned a couple of days ago. I love the can. The black can, the black dark label, it has a kind of ominous foreboding. The panda looks a little bit like one of the members of the band Kiss. Let's get this open. Well, they have their hop meter and their malt meter on the back. Oh, it's a bit hard to open. Okay. And the hop meter goes up to about 35-40%. And the malt meter goes up to the max. It is at 100. Let's get it in the glass and let's see. I'll only pour this bit so far and I'll leave you to have a look at that. Whew. Now, if you're gonna do a pastry stout or a dessert stout, this is the way you do it. Oh my God, it just sings off the nose. That is so enjoyable to smell and breathe in. It's kind of like holding a tiramisu up to your nose and getting 10 times the power of tiramisu wafting up into your nose, and not really artificial at all. But it feels like kind of weird in a beer, but it just the aroma just smells just exactly as a tiramisu does. Now, something that you see in a lot of pastry stouts and milk stouts is lactose, and they use that to amplify the idea of ice cream, the idea of vanilla, the idea of milkshake, and the idea of marshmallow. Whereas the extract that's gone into this beer, and it may have lactose as well, but the extract flavor of tiramisu smells like tiramisu. Lactose can't be a one sort of addition sort of flavoring for multiple different flavors. Oh, it's so good on those. It has barley, oats, hops, ground coffee, tiramisu extract, yeast, and what it doesn't have is lactose. So I'm gonna stick my neck out because if you've been watching onto these beer reviews, you will know that, you know, I like lactose, but I don't really like lactose, in all honesty. I think it's overused in a lot of beers. In milk stouts, perfect, because that's the style. But anytime you start firing it into a pastry stout, you're bordering that line of gimmick, fun, you know, we're just making a beer for the crack of it. That's fine, you know, the whole milkshake thing. But it just does, after a while, it wears a bit thin. And I just, you know, I'm over lactose. I'm over lactose. Now, I will always review these beers in a fair manner, you know, because it's not just my palate we're talking about here. We're talking about, you know, is this a good beer? Not just for me. But it is my view, and my view is that I am delighted there's no lactose in this beer. Let's give it another smell. I mean, that's like having a dessert in front of you on a plate, ready to eat. It's literally tiramisu. There's no mistake in it. There's coffee in here. There's that kind of vanilla creaminess, but slightly removed again from the lactose version, which is nice. Kind of a less sweet liqueur, very nice. Cheers, sláinte, and let's give it a go. Ooh. When you get to 10%, and it was same with 200 Fathoms from Galway Bay Brewery, there's this kind of stickiness, this syrupy edge to a beer that is just like almost molassesy, almost a bit treacly. The fruitiness that you can get from treacle, as well as, you know, a restrained acidity from it, and as well as on top of that you get this nice tiramisu thing coming along the side as well. This is a nice beer. The body is not too thick. The alcohol is there. The tiramisu is there. The colour of the beer, there are twinges of brown going on every single side. Let me just pour in another little bit there. See if I get a decent head going on. The head is a little bit less stable than in other beers. I found that a lot with barrel-aged imperial stouts. This isn't barrel-aged, but when you get that high ABV, it's kind of hard to get a head along with it. The aroma is something that you really enjoy, just taking in sniffs of the beer. It's part of the fun of this beer. You can just sit there and just smell the beer and go, oh my God, that just smells exactly like tiramisu. And, you know, it really, really does. Oh, this is good. This is really good. I mean, it's amped up. So you know you're drinking a 10% beer here. No mistake in it. There's alcohol going on in here. There's a warmth of alcohol. And, you know, you've got that sort of like Tia Maria sort of thing going on. A little bit syrupy, a little bit sweet, a little bit sticky. The palate just coats with this kind of warm mellowness, this coffee idea on the palate. I think the coffee thing is what you might not notice up front, but it's kind of like the platform for the rest of the beer to jump off of. And the coffee is, the more I think about it, it's mountains and mountains of coffee, but you're almost so consumed with the idea of the flavour of the tiramisu and that sort of Tia Maria kind of idea. Loads of chocolate, a bit of milk chocolate, a bit of dark chocolate, a bit of fruitiness going on in the chocolate, and a bit of dark malt. Is there a fraction, we'll say, of roastiness going on in there as well, and a whole load of coffee that's kind of like kept in check. It's just it's almost like loads of coffee but blanketed with something. Really, really nice. I'm loving this beer. Sorry, I've got the label the wrong way around. That's the way you do a dessert stout. For me, that's the best dessert stout or pastry stout, if you like, in the country of Ireland, hands down. I know the brewer. He sent me beers in the past. I went and picked this one up myself. But if I'm gonna have a dessert stout or pastry stout, I keep calling them dessert stouts. If I'm gonna have a pastry stout or something that reminds me of a dessert, that's what I want to have. Something that isn't, doesn't come across as fake. I had a layer cake from Brewdog, and that came across as so much flavoring in it that it spoiled the experience for me. I'd rather it not be lactose. I think lactose is the problem in a lot of pastry stouts, and I'd like to see more of this idea where you have, if you're going to put extract in it, if you want to make a hazelnut beer, go ahead and get that hazelnut syrup from the coffee counter and pile some in your brew. I'd rather that than a whole bunch of lactose and you saying, oh, this is our vanilla, our pastry cream stout or whatever. Like, it just drives me mad. Like, it's too much sweetness. This has elements to it. This has layers to it. There's a stout in here. There's a tiramisu thing going in here. There is a coffee element in here. There's a sweetness in here. There's a fruitiness from the higher sugars of treacle and molasses going on in here. That's what I'm looking for in these kind of big beers. And this one does it absolutely in spades. I'm loving it. And the can label, that has to be up there with one of the best labels this country has ever produced. Touch the gold label. It just feels so like decadent and rich. Yeah, super job. Cheers, Sláinte. And it's on to the next one. I am going to slowly drink the rest of these beers because I can